Welcome to my channel Living Linux. Here I have a weekly build of Debian 12 installed on my Phytium D2000 ARM computer. And I have to agree, this looks a bit interesting, to say the least. So I don't know if it's because of the setup with my USB video capture card, but everything is way too big. So let's see if we can change that. And so if we go to the settings, system settings, and appearance. No, that was not it. Let's see. Yeah, display and monitor. So you can see it's set to 300%. That is a bit much. So if we scale it back to 100%, it all looks a lot better. So here we can see Debian 12, and it has kernel 6.1.0.7. The Phytium has 8 cores, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a AMD Radeon RX 550 series GPU. It comes standard with Firefox ESR, but the downside of Firefox ESR is that the performance is not as good as, for instance, at least the latest version of Firefox and also Chromium. So if we're going to test WebGL Aquarium, and we go to 5000 fishes, we're at 25 frames per second. So just to show you, it's Firefox 102 ESR. Now if we go to Chromium, and we also go to 5000 fishes, then we're at around 50 frames per second. So if we try YouTube, so the Radeon RX 550, it doesn't have hardware acceleration for VP9, so that means that we're only using software decoding. So if we take the charge video, and we set it to 4K, although my monitor is just 1080p, but we can play the 4K stream. So this is just 4K at 24 frames per second. And there's hardly any dropped frames, so that looks good. And now if we try Big Buck Bunny, and that is 60 frames per second, and that is a bit too much. So, but if we drop it to 1440p, there's a couple of dropped frames here and there, but I think without the statistics that you probably wouldn't notice. So I think we have some good performance on the Phytium D2000, even when it's not using video hardware decoding. So I can also show you where I downloaded this Debian image. So we go to ARM64. In my case, ISO DVD, but there are also other options. And here you can see that the build is from the 3rd of May. So anyone interested in testing Debian 12, doesn't necessarily need to be on ARM, but of course also for AMD and Intel, and perhaps also some other architectures if you have the hardware for it or an emulator. And of course, if you take the DVD image, then I think it also comes with LibreOffice. So that's all working out of the box. Yeah, I'm not really sure if this setting of the display at 300%, I'm not really sure where that came from. Like I said, perhaps it was because of something that my USB video capture card triggered. I'm not really sure. But it is still possible to set it back at a lower percentage. So yeah, like I said, anyone interested in testing Debian 12 before it gets released, I think it's scheduled for the 10th of June. Yeah, perhaps you can also test it. Hopefully you won't find any bugs, and that it's an enjoyable experience for you. So that's all for now, and I hope to see you again in my next video.